jewelry making class today that we're doing live, and it's going to be using pinch bail findings to make pinch bail earrings. So this was a request that we got on one of our previous shows. We do this every single week at 9 a.m. Pacific time over on beadaholique.com, but you might be joining us from Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. So pinch bail earrings are really cool because they're quick and easy jewelry to make, and they're great for beginners too. So here is one of the designs that we're going to be making. So what we're basically doing is we're elevating the classic pinch bail. So here is a classic pinch bail earring where you just add a bead and an earring hook. Super quick and easy to do. But I wanted to kind of take that up a notch, and that was one of the requests we got in a previous show. So what we're gonna do is on this one here, we're gonna add chain to it. We have another one that we're going to do some simple wire wrapping. So even if you are a beginner, it's really easy to do. So this is a heart-shaped pinch bail. So lots of different things we can do with these besides just adding that bead. So, and I see Renee is here. Hello, Renee. So if you are over on beadaholique.com, I can see your comments in real time, which is great. So if you want to hop on over to beadaholique.com, you will be able to chat with me during this show. Otherwise, please leave comments and we'll try to get to them as we can. Just note that I can't see them live. Okay, I want to start designing right away. So I'm going to put my camera down so you guys can see my beading table, and we're going to start playing. Hello, Marianne. It is good to see you today. Hello, backyard. All right, these are my goodies on my table today. And I love it because this was a request from a previous show. So if you have show suggestions, definitely let me know. All right, so I'm just going to position this so I can see it. Okay, so a pinch bail starts out like this. So it is the basic finding that you see here, and there are different shaped ones. Yes, hello backyard. It's a happy backyard. I actually just put a fountain in it. Okay, so here we go. So they come in different shapes. They come in silver and gold, and if you want to see what any of these are, they are in that shopping bag. If you're on beadaholique.com, there's a little shopping bag at the corner of your screen. You can click on that and everything in the show is in there, and you can add it right to your cart from there. And then if you're not on beadaholique.com, you can go over to beadaholique.com, and if you click on live shows, it will take you right there. But everything is for sale over on Beadaholique. All right. Oh, Marianne made those the other night and loved them. Good. Good to hear. And hello, Karen. Thank you for joining us. Okay, so we've got our pinch bails, so we're going to be working with that. We've got some earring findings. So I've got this one here. This is the one I always call the long, elegant earring finding. I just love it. It's probably my most used earring finding. Hello, Nicole. And then I've got some kind of unusual shaped ones too to add a little bit of interest. So we got a bunch of different earring findings to choose from. And so just different ones to play with. And then we've got an assortment of beads. So what I find works best for the pinch bails are 8mm or 10mm. And there's actually quite a big difference between an 8 and a 10mm bead. So I've got some beautiful prestige pearls, and I love these colors. And these are 10s. And then I also have some 8s, and let's just do a little quick size comparison. It's kind of, to me, a little surprising what a big visual difference it is between a 10 and an 8. So these are 10s and these are 8s. And then I also had to pull some gemstone beads because gemstones are just so pretty. And I see we just had a bunch of people join us. Welcome. We are making pinch bail earrings today, and we're kind of elevating them a little bit. We're going to do some wire wrapping, adding some chain, doing lots of fun stuff with that. So I'm just showing all the supplies that I have right now, and then we'll get right into the design. And I see comments are going up pretty quick, so I'm trying to catch them. Hello, Marianne and Karen and Denise. Hello, and Root. It's good to see everybody today. All right, so we've got our beads, we have our pinch bails, we have our earring hooks, we have some seed beads. I love this color. It's so pretty. I see little floating hearts. Thank you. If you click on the little heart icon, it does show me little floating hearts, which I love. And then I've got some wire. We're going to be using 26 gauge wire today. And then we've got our basic tools. So we've got 2 pairs of chain nose pliers. Thank you for the hearts, guys. And then we also have a pair of cutters. And then I don't know if I'm going to be using it or not. I might be. We have a pair of wire looping pliers as well. Hello, Lynn and Ronnie and Sharon and Trisha. It's good to see you guys. And Leanne, hello. Okay, I want to start designing, guys. So let's go ahead and start with just kind of the most basic how to use a pinch bail earring, and then we're going to elevate it and use some chain and some wire wrapping. So I have this one here, and we're going to make its matched pair. And oh, Sue, I'm glad you love the lives. We love doing them too. It's so much fun. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these rose quartz beads. So these are rose quartz. And I even love the hot pink strand between these. They're stringing them all together. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to pull a bead off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to find the finding that I used for this one. So it was this twist one because I'm making the matched pair. And you see how they have these prongs right here? So those prongs are what are going to hold the bead together. Oh, hello, Bonnie. It's so good, you guys. This is so fun to see such familiar names. It's nice that we get to join each other each week. Can you hold up and compare the wire looping pliers and the other wire pliers? Yes, definitely can. Let me do that. So these are the wire looping. So they have a round nose and a concave nose, and we're going to use them to make simple wire loops and wrapped wire loops. I think I've got one project today that will do that. And then the others are 2 pairs of chain nose. I always have 2 handy because you'll need 2 if you open and close any jump rings. So I've got a really fine one, which is my Xuron. So this is really lightweight, super fine tip. And then I have a more substantial one, which is my Wubbers, and you can see the size difference. So I figure if you're going to have 2 pairs of chain nose pliers in your toolbox, they might as well kind of serve a little bit of a different purpose. So I have a fine and I have a thicker one. And then I have just my general pair of cutters. These are just kind of my all-purpose jewelry making cutters. So those are my basic tools that I use for pretty much every project. I mean, unless we're doing like bead weaving or loom work, but if I'm doing any type of earring, like wire wrapping or jump rings or anything like that, I use these pliers. Need to see the inside, please. Oh, of the wire looping or of the other here. This is the beauty of the lives, guys, is we can do this. So that's the inside of the plier. So you see how it's got that concave shape? And then when you go like this, it fits into it. Let's see if I can get that in focus better. So you can see how that fits in to the inside, and it's all the way down. So you can make very large loops if you're down here, or petite little loops if you're up near the tip. And then these guys here are just smooth and flat on the inside. So they're not serrated. I know some chain nose pliers are serrated. I find that kind of nicks my metal a little bit. So I like to have smooth ones. So both of these are completely smooth on the inside. And I've been using these guys for years and years and years. These are my tried and true, kind of my old ones. Like I can't even tell you how many years I've been using these for. Same pair. All right, great question. And guys, if you have any more questions, definitely this is the time to ask. This is perfect. Yes, and it is back in stock. Yes, Anita. Okay, so what we've got for the pinch bail, the way you get a bead into this is you pull this apart. You just do it gently. Yes, both sides are smooth. For sure. So if you look at both sides, actually there's a little bit of painter's tape on mine. I was doing something where I wanted painter's tape wrapped around them. I don't remember now. It's some mixed media project. Yeah. And then both sides are completely smooth. Okay. And so what we're going to do is see, we've just pulled that apart. Now we're going to take our bead and we're going to slip it in. So pull it apart. Find the hole to your bead. There's one side, the other side, and then once you've got both sides in, you literally pinch it and you give it like a little twist. And that closes it back up. And as long as those prongs are in there, you're good. So like, even though there's a little bit of a gap right here, this is still not gonna come out. So you actually don't need any glue. You could put glue in there if you wanted to, but you don't need it. And there you're done. So I'm just gonna put an earring hook on this now. And that is a really quick and easy pair of earrings. Okay, and if there's anything you want, you can definitely shop as you watch. You won't leave the show. And if you are on a different platform, we are over at beadaholique.com, and everything is for sale at beadaholique.com. And you can add it right to your shopping cart. Yes, and this, Sharon, this is a great way to show off a special bead. And what's great is you can imagine, like, look at this strand. And I've actually already used some beads on this strand before. How many pairs of earrings could you make with one strand of beads? And then you could even get like a mixed strand. That's why I pulled this one, because you can be like, oh, there's two yellows, I'm going to pair them together. There's two of this cool little spotted one. And you can make a bunch of different earrings with just one strand. So the bead size that I recommend is 8 and 10. So the reason I don't go much more than 10 is I feel like I can't pull the finding apart far enough without overstressing it. And then for the 8, I feel like this space right here, if you look at it, is about 8 millimeters. So if you went too much smaller than that, like if we just popped on like a 4, this is a 4 millimeter bicone. See if I can find the little hole as I'm looking here. Ah, my eyes. Okay, so if you just do like a 4, I don't think it's gonna stay. There's too much space and gap. So I really think you're gonna wanna stick to like an 8 or a 10. Oh, and can you change the bead? But if you wanted to, I think, okay, sorry guys, look, I'm trying to read the comments as they're coming. Math time. How long is 32 millimeters? Oh my gosh, 25 millimeters is about an inch, which is like a quarter. So 32 millimeters is a little bit bigger than that. That's how I always do my cheat math. I always am like, well, 25 is, oh no. Now I'm all confused. I don't know if 25 is an inch. 25 millimeters is about the size of a quarter, a US quarter. And that's what I always use as like my handy guide. I'm going to get all fumbled on math. Okay, so I had this pair already done because I just wanted to show a complete pair. So that pair is already done, just a classic 10 millimeter pearl in a pretty gold pair. And then we just finished this pair. Now I want to add a little chain, and I love this. So this one here is going to use a 10 millimeter bead, and we're going to put a little bit of chain dangling from it, and I think it's just so elegant. So I put the chain in that shopping bag. So if you want to click on that shopping bag, you can see the chain, and I put silver and gold in there. And this is the chain, and it's brand new to Beadaholique. And it's this really pretty, like, cut chain. Like, it's got like these, like, it's sparkly. I love it. Oh, good morning, Marion. Okay. So you see how that just sparkles. Now the key to this chain when you're doing a project with the pinch bails, where's my thing? Okay, because we don't want to eat up too much of the space here for the chain, you want a really, oh, thank you, Jennifer. 25 millimeters is 1 inch. Thank you for confirming that. And 32 millimeters is 1.25 inches. Thank you, guys. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that whatever chain you're using has a pretty thin profile. That's why I chose this chain, because you don't want your chain to eat up like half of your post. You want to make sure that you have enough of that post to go through the bead. So I pre-cut 2 inches of chain for this project here. I'm going to pull this apart. So I'm going to get that ready. And I know we just are having more people join us. Thank you. We are live. And if you're over on beadaholique.com, I can see your comments, which is great. If you're on one of our other platforms, welcome. We'll try to get to your comments as we can. Just note, I can't see them live. If you are on Beadaholique, there's banners popping up and you can shop those. You can add them to your shopping cart. Everything you see is in that shopping bag, so you don't have to wait for me to describe something. Okay, so here we go. We have a really pretty 10 millimeter prestige pearl. So I've already put 1 piece of my cut chain on that post. So it's just sitting there. Now I'm going to go ahead and pop my pearl on. Sorry guys, it's trying to do it standing a bit in front of me here, like having it out so we can see it. Okay. Okay, so I think my hole in my pearl, I need to try to widen a little bit. So I have a little bit of a pin right here. So I'm just gonna go through my pearl. Oh, hello from Seattle. Seattle's my old hometown, grew up there. Okay, so this is my little trick if my hole is not as clean as I would like, is I just kind of take a head pin or an eye pin and just kind of go like this, just to try to get it a little bit bigger. Okay, so let's see if this works now. Okay, so let's put our chain back on there. Okay. Take our pearl. There we go. Okay, so it just needed to be poked a little bit. What if a head pin doesn't work? There are beading awls, which are good. I should have one. I know I've got some designer friends who swear by beading awls and they use them all the time and they're really inexpensive. I just don't have one in my toolbox. I tend to always just use a head pin. So I would just go to a thicker gauge head pin and push it through. Like I think this is like 22 probably. I would probably go like 21 or 20 and then just push it through is what I tend to do. And then I'm going to put this other piece of chain, loop it around. And then Nicole, I definitely saw your comment about the wire looping pliers for wrapped wire loops. And they're actually good for wrapped and simple. Okay, and then so we got this other piece of chain on here, right here. And now we're just going to push the other peg into it and twist. All right, and now that chain is anchored on either side of your bead. So you now have a pretty dangling chain beneath your bead. Oh, thank you, Marianne. Yeah, I tried to put, there are some new shapes. Good point mentioning that. I did put some new shapes also in the shopping bag there too. Some that I'm not even showing here that we got new. Okay, so then we just pull that little loop at the base of the earring a little apart, slip this on and close it. And then I want to show real quick the wire looping pliers that you can make a simple wire loop or a wrapped wire loop, because I know that that question comes up a bit. So we are later in the show going to make a simple wire loop using them. But if you wanted to make a wrapped wire loop, you would just go ahead, put the wire in it. Or if you're coming off of a head pin with a bead on it. And there you go. So you have a little loop. Now, of course, if you want to make that simple wire loop, you would just cut it right there. But if we wanted to make it a wrapped wire loop, we would just go ahead and do our wrappings. So really simple to use, those wire looping pliers, and they're so handy. Okay. There we go. Oh, so you're trying to figure out why choose those over one-step looper. These are my favorite. I love these. So you can do simple or wrapped with this, and you can do different sizes. That's the advantage of this one. You could do really small, you could do really large, you could do simple, or you could do wrapped. All right, and perfect questions. This is why we're here live. Okay, so we've done the chain earrings, we've done the rose quartz earrings. I'm going to do one using a cube bead now, because you don't have to just use round beads. And I think the cube bead is really kind of cool looking. So this is a Prestige Crystal Cube. Can you use the needle nose pliers for loops? I have never used them for loops. Their tips are a little bit more rectangular, kind of. So you're not going to get that roundness for them if you do that. I think you could probably try, but it's not going to have quite the same look with the chain nose or the needle nose. Okay, so here is this one, and this is what the cube looks like, which I thought was cool. And this is light sapphire. I love this color. I'm really, really digging that color. Okay, so we're just going to take this, pull it apart, and then pop it in and pop it in. Again, pinch it. So you're kind of like pinching it closed. And as long as you have it where even if there's a little bit of a peg showing, you're still okay, as long as there's enough of that kind of that rod in between the bead. And there we go. So that was so easy. And we're just going to now put an earring hook on this one. So you can see if you're not going to add chain and you're not going to add like the wire wrapping, these are so fast. Can you imagine how many gifts, or if you're selling jewelry, how many pieces of jewelry you can make for a show really quickly. Okay, so there's that one. There we go. So we're going to now do wire wrapping. So I did it on the heart, but you could do it on any of them. So here is the little heart, and we're just going to sweetly wire wrap around the top of it. So I'm going to first do my wire wrapping, then add my bead. I think it's just a little bit easier to do it that way. So we're going to take our wire, and I have 26 gauge artistic wire. And I'm just going to find the end, and I'm going to start with about 12 inches. Okay, so I just cut it off of my spool. I've got this. Yeah, I love it with the cube too. I think, Marianne, I think it's my favorite. I think of all of them, the cube and the chain are my two favorites. Can you add a touch of glue to keep it from separating accidentally? Absolutely. You can definitely add a touch of glue. You can do E6000 would be nice because E6000 has a little bit more heft to it. GS Hypo Cement might work too, although that's so liquidy. I would a little bit worried about it kind of going up on your frame, but you could definitely add some glue. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just wire wrap. So we're just going to start by taking one piece of the wire, putting it through the heart shape. Yep, you can use 24 gauge to wrap as well. I think 24, 26 are the easiest. And then you're just going through the center. And we're going to just start with like 3 wraps, 3 or 4. Yeah, heart for Valentine's Day would be really pretty. Okay, so we're just going to get some wrappings along the side. Can the earrings be bought in bulk? Oh, good question, Tracy. We don't have a bulk listing for them right now. They are listed as, I believe, a pair is how they're listed. Okay, so here we go. So we've got the wire wraps right here, and I've got like 3 or 4. Yeah, so Leanne makes a really good comment that she loves having a good variety. It's a lot easier to sell them when you give people a lot of different options. I totally agree, because you never know if like someone's going to want amethyst for their birthstone, or they're going to, you know, if they love blues or they love a certain gemstone. So it's nice to have variety for sure. Okay, so we've got this. Now we're going to add our first bead. So I'm using size 11-0 Toho beads. And these are rounds, and they're kind of this milky peach color. And so we're just going to now, we've got the wire wrapping, and the wire wrapping is coming away from the heart. So it's not towards the inside, it's coming away. And we're just going to add 1 bead. And we're going to let it slide on down so it sits on the outside of our heart frame. And I'm actually going to kind of hold it to the outside. And then I'm going to take my wire and I'm going to go through my heart again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just come around, and now I'm going to go through my heart again, not adding a bead. So I want one kind of clean loop without a bead next to the bead, if that makes sense. Okay. Okay, and then when we're coming out again, sorry, I'm going to have a little cough here. My kiddos have colds, and I think I'm getting it too. Oh, I have to show you guys my mug here today. This is my little water mug. It says, "What am I doing?" My little cat. I have a cat shirt and a cat mug today. I think I'm cat themed. Okay, so we're now going to put that little bead on. And you can use check glass beads for these pinch bails. You can use crystal beads. You can use gemstone beads, all sorts of beads you can use. And then again, don't limit yourself by just thinking round beads. You can use whatever shape that you want. As long as it can go in that little center area and those pegs can go through it, you're good to go. Thanks, Michelle. I love that mug. I have a couple of them. My one son is a huge, huge, huge cat fan, so we have lots of cat things in the house. Leanne has over 20 cat mugs. I love it. I'm not quite to 20 yet, but I'm thinking I probably have like 6 or 7. Okay, so I am just continuing the wire wrapping. So we're just going to do this and keep going. Always doing that one extra little loop, so it just anchors your beads a little bit better. Okay, we're going to keep going. Now, I also want to let everyone know that, oh, do I have cats though? I don't have cats right now. My son would love one. It's always so tempting. So I do want to let everyone know too that we are over on Beadaholique having our 12 giveaways of Christmas. So that's something also fun to check out. I think we're on number 9 or 10 today. I think it's 10 actually. So a couple more days left. We're having lots of fun giveaways over on the blog. So always fun things happening there. Oh, we have 3 cats, and my hubby has gotten me some. Oh my gosh, this is fun. Can the wire be used for bracelets? Oh yeah. Well, what type of bracelets do you mean? Like you can definitely wire wrap. Like if you have a cuff bracelet, or if you're going to use it to wire wrap beads onto a bracelet, you can definitely use the wire for bracelets. But if it's the foundation of the bracelet, I'd say you need a little bit of a thicker gauge. So with wire, I know that this is confusing, but the heavier the gauge, the smaller the number. So this is 26 gauge, which is pretty thin. If you wanted to do a bracelet, you would probably go ahead and use like a 20 gauge or an 18 gauge. Okay, and I'm just gonna keep going. So I've done half of it now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna jump over that loop. So I'm just gonna go right here and come over to the other side of the loop. And do a couple wraps right there just to give me another anchor starting point. And now I'm going to add another bead. Okay, and then we're just going to add another bead, and we're halfway done with this. So this does take a little bit longer than the instant quick, you know, just adding a bead, but it's a fun way of having a little variation with these pinch bails. And then for those of you who are joining us, who just joined us, we are making pinch bail earrings today, and you can always catch the replay. All these videos are archived. They're all saved over at beadaholique.com. So if you missed anything or you want to go back and you want to rewatch a certain technique, you definitely can. And then we're also here every single Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific, and we do a different project or a different technique. And I need more ideas, guys. I'm planning out my live shows for the new year. So I need ideas. I know last week we were talking kumihimo, which was really fun. So that's definitely going to be part of it. But if you have other ideas, let me know. Okay, so we'll just keep going, and then we're going to keep on wrapping. We're almost done, and then we'll add our bead. And one of the beads I have in the shopping bag is the one we're going to be using here. It's a Crystal Moonlight Pearl Prestige, which is probably one of my most used colors of the Prestige pearls. It's almost like a white, but with a slight like silver shimmer to it. Almost looks glowy to me. Okay, good. So Leon's saying, I want to learn how to make some good woven bead bracelets. I love that. Okay, kumihimo. Okay, those are good. Yeah, I'm going to see if I have the supplies to do a bead woven design for next week. That's something I'm going to experiment with later today, actually, because I'd like to do a bead woven. Okay, so what you do is you're going to check and see if you're even. I think I need to add one more. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to add one more bead to this side. Yeah, I want to do something with super duos. I want to do something with 2-hole beads, doing some bead weaving with them. And then, but like a simple super duo project, if that makes sense, where it's not, you know, going to take 6 hours to do, but something we can kind of do in like an hour, I think would be really fun. Okay, so we got it all there. We've got all of our wire wrapping. What we're going to do. Oh, okay, good. Rhonda's see project with 2-hole beads. Perfect. Yeah, I want to do more 2-hole bead projects. I love that you can like jump up between the holes and the connections. It's really fun. It's like building blocks. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just going to now do some wraps around the edge to match the other side. So here we go. And then this one I'm going to wrap a little more. And then we're going to trim our tails. So just trim off that wire and then tuck our tail. So we're going to take our chain nose pliers and just press that wire into the wrapping so you don't have a rough edge that's going to snag on your clothing or your neck or anything like that. Okay, so just always tuck those tails. All right, now we're ready to add our bead. So we're just going to open up our pinch bail. We're going to put on our pearl. There's one side, hold it in there and give it a pinch. Ooh, a layered raw bangle, that would be fun. Yeah, it could be a 2 or 3 part. Super duo bead projects, okay, those are good. Yeah, it could be a 2 or 3 part, or I could try to step it out in stages where I have some of the different pieces already done so we can kind of see everything all at once would be cool too. All right, there's our heart. Very Valentine's Day. So the earring hook I chose for this one, just because I thought it was a really pretty hook, was this. But you could also go with a more traditional earring hook, kind of like we chose for one of these. You don't have to go with the long earring hook. Oh yeah, so Sharon, great question. Can I continue to shop the Beadaholique site when this live ends with my existing shopping cart? Yes. Yes, you can. The shopping cart will save. The only note is sometimes things sell out pretty quickly during the lives. It's just the nature of it. And so that's the only caveat, is sometimes things sell out quickly during the lives. But yeah, you can definitely keep shopping the Beadaholique site with your shopping cart. Okay, so we just put that on there and we have our earring. I really like the wire wrapping on this. I think it's a pretty detail. Okay, so there's our little pair of Valentine's earrings. So there's one more earring, but kind of covers everything else that we already did. So this is just showing that you can actually add a little connector up here. So this was just using a pretty little bead. And then, you know what though? I do want to show you this one because there was something different with this finding. Okay, so this finding here, you'll notice if we compare, let's see. So you see that these are similar but different. This one has a much tighter swirl. What that means is it's a little bit trickier to get a bead in, because when you pull it apart, look what happens. You just kind of get these that don't want to pull apart as far. So I used an 8mm in this size, or in this style, because it was just a little trickier to pull that apart and slip a bead in. And then twist, and it's anchored. And then I do want to show you this because it does have that other technique, and we can talk about making simple wire loops using these pliers. So if you want to add a little dangle, you just put on a bead, and then you're going to just take your pliers shortly after where the wire exits the bead. You just have like a little bit of a gap right there, and squeeze, push down, rotate up, crisscross, and you've made a loop. And then where it crisscrosses, we're just going to trim, and then we're going to open up our little loop and connect it to the loop at the top of the pinch bail. So the brilliant part about these pinch bail findings is that little loop up top, because you can add connectors to it, you can add dangles, you can add your earring hook, you can do whatever you like. And now we're just going to add an earring hook, and then this one's done too. And that was another really quick and easy one. I think we will have done 5 pairs of earrings in this show. So super easy. And okay, so we're just gonna look at the earrings one more time. Okay, so we're done. Okay, so we've got this little one here with that added little bit of color right there for that little dangle up top. The cubes, which I love. And again, all of these are in that shopping bag, so you can see the dimensions and the colors and all of that. So I've got the cubes. We've got just like a classic pearl here. And this was a 10mm crystal moonlight pearl with the gold. So those are really pretty. And I think these are nice because they're a universal style that I think a lot of people would wear. So if you are thinking of gift giving or selling, these are really nice. Okay, and then using a gemstone, of course you could pick your favorite gemstone, but we've got rose quartz. Oh, happy holidays to you, Callie. Such a fun time of year, I love it. Okay, and then we've got the chain, and I did put silver in that shopping cart too. Okay, so you got the chain, which just adds a little something different, and then like a really bright poppy color right there. And then we've got our hearts. And then we got our wire wrapped Valentine's hearts. Okay guys, I'm gonna flip the camera up real quick so that I can say goodbye. Okay, yard again. Okay guys, I'm gonna take off one of my earrings here. Let's see, just so you can see what this would look like. So see? So we got that. It's a nice length on these guys too. Actually, you might be able to see it better against my hair. It's a little darker. Okay, so you can see that. So that chain has some nice movement right there. And then of course, just like a pretty classic one, just like so. And it's nice because these really do catch the light because they're so shiny. So really fun, really easy, quick and easy. And again, if you're selling jewelry, these are great too. You'll be able to make a lot really quickly and easily. So super fun. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for joining me. If you have items in your shopping cart, don't forget to close out your cart. And again, I'm sorry, I do know things tend to sell out quickly during these lives. We do our best to keep things in stock. If anything sells out, sign up for the out of stock notifier. If you are on one of our other platforms, thank you for joining us today. We are over at beadaholique.com. Everything is for sale here. This is what we do. We love it. We have fun. And we're here every single week at 9 a.m. Pacific time on Thursdays doing a live class. And I see Sue and Tracy and Leanne. I will see you guys next week. Happy holidays. Have a wonderful, wonderful holiday weekend and next week too. I know I'm loving this time of year. It's so fun. So take care, everyone. I will see you next week. Bye.